Okay, so here's the deal. When I make all these videos about dumb moves and act like I know more than the actual people on the show, it's important to understand I'm not saying I'm the greatest player to never actually play Survivor, but there are times when I'm watching an episode and I see something happen and I think to myself, wait, what? Why did they do that? I don't think I follow the logic, but hey, maybe there's something I'm missing. It is a heavily edited TV show after all. Like, Eric gives up immunity to Natalie, and it's entirely framed as a terrible idea. And while I have since heard about his logic with the move, when I first watched it, I couldn't fathom how this could be a good idea. And I think neither could the producers, evidently, because we've heard about it every fifth season or so for the past 15 years, which is exactly why I am not going to spend any more time talking about it, because that move absolutely backfired on Eric, just as we've heard the same happen to JT when he gave up his idol, or Tyson switching his vote against Parvati, or James not playing either idol at the final 7, or, well, you get the picture. Because everyone always talks about Eric, but not many people talk much about Natalie. The first dumb move that didn't backfire but easily could have in another timeline is from the final 8 of season 16 Micronesia, when at the auction Natalie wins the power to send one player to Exile Island immediately, where they will be given the chance to search for that infamous hidden immunity idol stick. And for context, Ozzy was just blindsided in the previous episode with said idol in his pocket, so a new idol was going to be re-hidden on Exile Island. Whoever Natalie sent to Exile would probably find that idol and have safety for at least one round. There was a strong women's alliance that had formed and were planning to pick off the men, and Jason was next on the chopping block, assuming he didn't win immunity, or find the idol. Natalie, however, was friends with Jason, but truly didn't care to keep him in the game, but yet she decided, with no explanation, to send Jason to exile to give him a chance to find the idol. And if you're thinking, well, maybe Natalie had a secret plan that nobody else was in on, maybe she did, but I don't think that's likely the case, because she aided in tricking Jason at that next immunity challenge into dropping out so she could assist in blindsiding him at the next vote. By sending Jason to exile, she was giving him the power to become immune, and then he did find the idol when he went, go figure, but of course, also go figure, he was terrible at the game and he didn't play the idol, so he got voted out anyway. But just like on paper, sending your primary target to find an idol is a terrible idea when you can easily just send, I don't know, anyone else? Even yourself.
You must choose one person to go to Exile Island immediately, and you take all of the money they have left.
Is the idol replanted since it wasn't ever played?
A new idol has been hidden.
Jason.
This time, maybe you'll get a real one.
This is not the fake hidden immunity idol.
We need to start thinking a couple steps ahead with Jason.
Yeah. You know, we have to act as if Jason has the idol.
Yeah. You need to let anyone but James win. James is going home tonight. Don't ask any questions. I sent you to exile for a reason. He's like, you sent me for a reason, huh? I was like, yeah.
It was smart. It was very smart of you to send me.
We're going to spend a fair amount of time today talking about idol drama, because this next dumb move that didn't backfire is from a move that I also once said was really difficult to understand and is oftentimes misunderstood. It is from the pre-merge of season 21 Nicaragua, when Marty was holding an idol and was the target, and the opposing alliance decided to split the vote against Marty to basically force him to play his idol. Marty didn't play his idol, however, but because he didn't, the votes were tied, and you would expect on the revote that Marty would be sent packing because he was the target and he had an idol and he didn't use it. Except, what do you know, the opposing alliance did not vote out Marty. They instead voted out one of their own, Kelly, because they split the vote on her and made an enemy out of her in the process. And to be fair, that I guess is the majority alliance's prerogative. I'm not holding them on trial here, their feet are not to the fire. They just didn't believe they could trust Kelly any more than Marty and decided to get rid of her first, and I talked about that in a different video. But what I didn't talk much about was Marty's decision to not play the idol. The reason Marty didn't play it was because, let me check my notes. He just wanted to gamble. He had big cojones. That was literally it. He was really shocked that he didn't get voted out, just as I'm sure everyone else who was watching was too, but it should be said that Marty wasn't some chess grandmaster who made an insane play by holding his idol. He just decided his fate was up and maybe he'd get lucky. And also, to be fair to him, he was right in that regard, but he could have easily also been a victim of not playing an idol when he logically should have, and because he just gambled and got lucky, I gotta consider this a bad move that didn't backfire, and if it did, we'd probably be talking about it a bit more.
We gotta flush the idol away from Marty. So we're thinking that we split the votes. 3 votes for Marty and 3 votes for Kelly B. It's just too dangerous for him to hold on to that immunity idol until whenever he wants to use it.
Marty is the #1 enemy right now.
It's a very, very calculated decision to play or not play the idol. My gut is telling me they will vote for Jane.
Marty, feeling more comfortable, less comfortable, same as you were when you walked in?
Probably less comfortable simply because I took these guys at face value and I feel there's a lot of duplicity.
If anybody has a hidden immunity idol and you want to play it, now would be the time to do so. All right. We have a tie. Marty has 3 votes, Kelly B has 3 votes. Everybody else will vote, and you're voting for Marty or Kelly B. 6th person voted out of Survivor Nicaragua, Kelly B. That's 4, that's enough. Need to bring me a torch.
And you know what? Because I've mentioned this move at the top of the video, let's just keep circling the drain of questionable gameplay around the idol when we talk about James's blindside from the final 7 of season 15 China. Everyone remembers James getting voted out when he held 2 idols in his pocket at the final 7 and decided not to play one. He was guaranteed final 5 at that point, but nope, now he's gone and he took both idols with him. Instead, they just became souvenirs and his luxury item 5 seasons later in season 20 Heroes Villains. Now, in one of the first videos I ever made on my channel, I mentioned how poor gameplay it was when Eric, a member of the minority duo between himself and PG, chose to throw his vote on James because James annoyed him. And had James decided to play an idol, Eric's closest ally PG would be voted out in the revote because Eric made a really dumb move with his vote. But then of course Eric was voted out in the next episode, so in a way I would say his dumb move kind of backfired anyway. But another dumb move that didn't backfire and easily could have this round was when Amanda decided to tell PG about the James blindside in the first place. You may not remember this part, and I don't blame you because there's a lot of bad gameplay in this episode, but when pulling off a blindside, it's probably best not to tell the players who are clearly at the bottom what the plan is, because they might get shifty and, you know, just like mess up all your pots and pans. By telling PG and Eric the plan to blindside James, they could have easily gone to James and tipped him off to play his idol. But luckily for Amanda, Eric wasn't the best strategist around, and then PG was famished and just not thinking straight and was happy to settle for James getting his comeuppance. I mean, he did have 2 idols after all. PG wanted either Todd or James out and was more than happy to see James go. I actually dug around a bit and found her recalling why she didn't make a move against the Majority Alliance with this info, and she regrets not doing so. But really, when you break down the numbers of this vote, Amanda didn't need to tell PG and Eric the plan at all. They had the 4 votes regardless, and considering they just voted out PG and Eric in the next 2 episodes anyway, it's tough for me to say this was like some master plan of hers for the future. I think it was just an unnecessary risk.
There is a chance that James could use the hidden immunity idol. I mean, why not, you know? If he pulls out the idol, all of our votes for James go away.
And just keep it like that. You and I think Todd. If he doesn't play Todd, then James is proud. If he plays it and Todd proud.
If I get a sense that somebody's going to do something they're not supposed to do, I would play the idol. I'd have to.
And lastly, when talking about idol drama, I know nobody ever says this, and to be fair, I get why, but like, can we just bring up for 1 minute the men's tribe from season 24, One World, where they all volunteered to go to tribal council and vote off one of their own despite winning the immunity challenge earlier in the episode. Yeah, that's like the antithesis of the point of the game, and that actually happened. A whole tribe gave up immunity to vote one of their own out, and for what? The reason was because there was drama between two of the players, Colton and Bill. Colton didn't really like Bill, and then Bill apparently threw Colton's idol in the ocean in the behind the scenes stuff, and in retaliation, Colton decided to hold court and basically forced the tribe to give up immunity to vote Bill out. I think it's fair to say that the men's tribe was kind of meek and just went with it, but for the sake of talking about dumb moves, Colton deciding to do this is absolutely a dumb move because it opens the door to himself getting blindsided, or at least losing a potential ally going forward. Certainly a tribe member. You can only lose Survivor in the pre-merge, and by volunteering to cut off your nose to spite your face, you're asking for trouble down the line. Colton viewed Bill as an enemy. His logic was that Bill wasn't a relationship he could reconcile with, even though I think this was mostly just Colton being Colton, not that Bill was actually a problem. And even though the men's tribe did go to tribal and vote Bill out, and Colton ultimately got his way, and yeah, this dumb move didn't backfire on Colton, if he were to do this a dozen times over and over on other seasons, it almost definitely does, or at least it should, and for that, it's gotta make the list. Not to mention, the men could have used one more number at the merge given how the season panned out, but hey, not like Colton was at the merge anyway.
Men, no tribal council tonight. Enjoy the night off. Grab your stuff, head back to camp. Nice work. Women, tribal council tonight. Somebody else from your tribe will be out of this game for good.
Maybe I should go to those girls and say, do y'all want to trade and we'll go to tribal council tonight? Because we have a lot more to deal with than y'all.
Here, we just won immunity, and Colton's saying we should give it away. And I'm thinking, what? But at this point, Colton's calling the shots. So what am I going to say? No?
What happened? They want to go to tribal.
Are you joking?
No. Oh my God. I have to laugh.
Wait, when we go to tribal council, what is going to happen?
I'm like, what in the world is going on?
Who wants to go to tribal council? Raise their hand. I do.
I have you guys know I'm completely bumfuzzled right now. I don't know what to make of this.
24 seasons, some 400 tribal councils. Never had a tribe arrive at tribal council after winning immunity. 8 people agreed to do this.
Last for the video, let's talk about a more modern season with Survivor 42. Let's talk about the final 7, when one of my favorite twists in the show's history returns like herpes to get in the way of what otherwise was a fun night of TV. I am talking about the do or die twist during the immunity challenge, where we saw Lindsay and Jonathan compete against each other to see who could win immunity and who would join Jeff in his crazy funhouse chocolate factory of, I don't know, all the fixins. Basically, this twist said that if you compete in the immunity challenge and you're the first one to be eliminated, you get punished. You have to play a game of chance before the vote at tribal council, and if you open the wrong box, you get instantly eliminated. No vote, no strategy, just pick a box and pray to the Survivor gods. But the kicker here is that you can opt out of the challenge. You don't have to compete and go through all this shenanigans. You don't have to put up or shut up. You can just shut up and sit down and let the big boys win all the challenges, because that's basically what happened. Jonathan was a beast of a human and decided to compete, but then so did Lindsay. But Lindsay wasn't the target of this vote, and neither was Jonathan, and so why either of them bothered to risk their chance in the game is kind of a head scratcher given the dynamics. To make it worse, however, Lindsay explained that she decided to play in the challenge because she wanted to target Jonathan and get him out next, which I don't think ever seemed like a good idea to me because they were in a 4-person alliance at the final 7, and I don't know, that's just numbers. That's a solid voting block. I say just let Johnny Boy win immunity, vote someone else out, and then make your move in the next round. Lindsay competed, however, and lost the challenge to Jonathan, and immediately was kicking herself for this decision. She didn't need to target Jonathan right now, she didn't need to win immunity right now, and most of all, she didn't need to reduce her game down to picking a random box when she wasn't even the target in the first place. Drea was voted out this episode, and that was a major win for Lindsay, and yet she almost fell backwards into it happening, all because a dumb move didn't backfire when it statistically should have.
Tonight at Tribal Council, the first person to fall out of this challenge will play this game of chance. Your decision right now is, do I compete or not? Most of you are not going home. One is. If you think you're the one, do or die is an option. Everybody reveal. Jonathan is playing and Lindsay is playing, and that is it. Lindsay drops first. Jonathan wins individual immunity.
I'm very disappointed in myself because that was such a dumb decision. I felt safe. I didn't need to do that, but I wanted to just beat Jonathan.
She should have just not played.
I know. And now I literally might be out from that one mistake.
You drew the flame, you were safe.
And those are 5 times Survivor players made dumb moves that didn't backfire. Let me know what you think about these moves and this topic, and of any other examples you might want me to talk about in the future. A big thank you to my patrons for all your support. It means a lot. And thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to read up on the Monty Hall problem on your way out, and I will see you in the next one, once I get comfy in my cushy, leather-padded Monday morning quarterback chair. So as I was saying, I'm not necessarily the best player to never play Survivor, but
for me, the hardest test out here is like to not be a total dick. In terms of this game, I think like maybe I'm a little better than I thought I was. Well, I thought I was fantastic, but like maybe I actually am as fantastic as I think because I feel like I'm playing an A+ game.
Which is interesting that you would offer counterpoints to something you admit you don't know anything about.
I mean, I'll argue about the color of the sky if I have to. Like, I don't want to be the dick that just keeps playing devil's advocate constantly because I hate that person as much as the next person, so.
7th person voted out.
Damn.
Bradley.
Oh my God. Wow. Damn. That's crazy.